Hey there, Scott McKenzie with Industrial Talk. Now, for the past probably 2.5, 3 months, I've had the opportunity to really interview some great leaders within industry, within manufacturing. And there's been this sort of general theme that has been throwing through all of the conversations. And I just want to share that, or take this opportunity to share it with you. Now, hang tight. Here we go. Okay, from everybody's perspective, especially with this COVID, we're talking about the necessity to collaborate. That's one. That's not just collaborate internally. That means collaborate with your customers, collaborate with your suppliers, collaborate with even more external individuals and other companies, and be able to sort of push back that pride and recognize that through collaboration and the exchange of information brings about a lot of great benefits, especially for now. We need that type of opportunity to be able to share, successes and also challenges, okay? So when we start to talk about collaboration, we also need to address innovation. Now, I'm not just saying, and this is with the conversations I've had with many, not just innovation from a technology point of view, which is important, don't get me wrong, but innovation from how you interact with your customers, innovation with how you interact with employees, or innovation when it just comes to unique strategies to deploy as a result of this COVID. So one, collaborate, innovate. And the third one, of course, is educate. We just can't consume enough information. Now, I've never been through anything like this, and I know that you probably haven't either, but that necessity to educate is needed at this particular time. So you got to consume. And you're saying to yourself, Scott, I just don't have that time. You have the time. You've got to educate. And the fourth point is speed. You've got to do it with a sense of urgency, speed, nimbleness. Be out there and pushing, because you can't delay. You can't, hold off. If you're going to collaborate, if you're going to innovate, if you're going to educate, you're going to have to do it with speed. The last component, the fifth one, is the willingness to make mistakes. Because as you move forward, as you begin to deploy the strategy, you're going to make mistakes. And here's the key. You got to get back up. You can't just sit there and just say, oh my gosh, I've made a mistake. That's just not going to work. Now, in light of all this, in light of these points that have been discussed on the Industrial Talk podcast with these leaders, and it is consistent across the board, collaboration, innovation, education, speed, and making mistakes are key. They're key to the focus that is at hand, right? So when we start talking about that, the focus has to be, in light of this, managing risk. What does that look like? How do I deploy the collaboration to manage risk? How do I deploy innovative ideas to manage risk? How do I educate to manage risk? You get the point? So this is all important to manage risk. The second point, and this is also all a part of the conversation I've been having with many of these individuals, is how do I save money? And the same thing, we collaborate to figure out strategies and focus to save money. Innovate to save money. Educate to save money. And then the third component, and we have to do this, is make money, right? We've got to make money. So how do we collaborate with teams internally and externally to begin making money? How do we innovate to begin making money? How do we educate to begin making money? Right? And then we got to do it with a sense of speed and make mistakes. And that's it. That is really the sum up, not to mention the celebration of all these wonderful manufacturers and people of industry. Everybody has been challenged by this whole pandemic, and we've distilled it down into the strategies. And every time you have a conversation, every time you have some sort of dialogue, does it reduce risk? Does it save money? Does it make money? Anything out of this is just sort of fluff. right? We've got to have that pinpoint focus each and every day. And we've got to be able to pull in our team of collaborators, internal and external. We've got to continue to think and be different and innovate. And we've got to educate, because even innovation requires some education. We got to do it with speed, and you got to make mistakes. That's it. That is in a nutshell. So anyway, we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to expand upon all of these elements. Thank you, and appreciate it. Be safe, okay?